About one-fifth of the population of Constantinople, the imperial capital of the Byzantine Empire, was annihilated by a mysterious and highly contagious disease that swept through the city in the 6th century, leaving a trail of death and devastation in its wake. This epidemic, known as the Plague of Justinian, was an event of unprecedented horror, claiming millions of lives across the Mediterranean basin, Europe, and the Near East, and altering the course of human history forever. The plague's impact was so catastrophic that it would take centuries for the affected regions to recover, and its legacy would be felt for generations to come. The plague's arrival in Roman Egypt in 541 marked the beginning of a global health crisis that would spread with alarming speed, carried by trade routes and facilitated by the vast network of roads and sea lanes that crisscrossed the ancient world. As the contagion spread around the Mediterranean Sea, it left a trail of death and destruction in its wake, infecting entire cities and towns, and bringing human civilization to its knees. The Byzantine Emperor Justinian I, who ruled the empire from 527 to 565, was himself afflicted with the disease in 542, but miraculously recovered, as recorded by his court historian Procopius. The plague's spread was relentless, and by 543, it had reached every corner of Justinian's empire, infecting people from all walks of life, from the lowest peasant to the highest noble. The disease was highly contagious, and its symptoms were brutal and terrifying, including fever, vomiting, and painful swellings in the groin, armpits, and neck. The plague's severity was such that it would often kill its victims within a matter of days, leaving their loved ones to mourn their passing and wonder if they would be next. As the plague continued to spread, it began to have a profound impact on the social, economic, and cultural fabric of the affected regions. Trade and commerce ground to a halt, as cities and towns were quarantined and entire populations were forced to live in fear of infection. The plague also had a profound impact on the cultural and religious landscape of Eastern Roman society, as people struggled to make sense of the catastrophe that had befallen them. Many turned to religion, seeking answers and solace in the face of unimaginable horror, while others succumbed to despair and desperation. The plague's impact on the economy was equally devastating, as entire industries and sectors were decimated by the loss of manpower and the disruption of trade. The Byzantine Empire, which had been the dominant power in the region for centuries, was particularly hard hit, as the plague weakened its military, disrupted its administrative systems, and eroded its tax base. The empire's struggles to respond to the crisis would ultimately contribute to its decline, as it faced challenges from external enemies and internal strife. As the plague continued to spread, it began to reach even the most remote and isolated regions, infecting communities that had previously been untouched by the disease. The contagion persisted in northern Europe and the Arabian Peninsula until 549, a full 8 years after its initial outbreak, a testament to the disease's incredible virulence and the inability of ancient societies to respond effectively to the crisis. The plague's eventual decline was likely due to a combination of factors, including the development of immunity in affected populations and changes in human behavior, such as the avoidance of infected areas and the adoption of stricter hygiene practices. The Plague of Justinian was a pivotal moment in human history, marking the beginning of a long and complex relationship between humans and disease. It was the first episode of the First Plague Pandemic, a global health crisis that would recur periodically over the next centuries, claiming millions of lives and shaping the course of human civilization. The plague's legacy can still be felt today, as scientists and historians continue to study the disease and its impact, seeking to understand the complex interplay of factors that contributed to its spread and its eventual decline. In the end, The plague of Justinian remains a haunting reminder of the fragility of human life and the power of disease to shape the course of history. The millions of people who perished in the plague, often in agonizing and terrifying circumstances, are a testament to the enduring power of death and the importance of remembering and learning from the past. As we look back on this dark and terrible episode in human history, we are forced to confront the reality of our own mortality, and the ever-present threat of disease and disaster that hangs over us all, waiting to strike without warning, and leaving nothing but death and devastation in its wake.